Hi everyone, and welcome to the 2021 Rookie Awards interview series. My name is Christina Ryan, and I'm a senior texture artist at Industrial Light and Magic. I'm also a judge for the Rookie Awards, as well as the host of this new interview series. So that amazing work you just saw was the work of Pablo Sanchez, and he was the runner-up in our archviz Rookie of the Year competition. So each week I'll be going through and introducing one of the winners from the Rookie Awards, and we'll learn a little bit about them, what inspired their entry, and what I've really loved about the interview series this year is that we've actually handed the reins over to them and allowed them to present us some work and show us some behind the scene things which we've never seen before. So that's really interesting. So make sure you stick around for that. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and welcome Pablo. Hey, Pablo.
Hi, Christine.
Hi, thank you so much for joining us, and really excited to hear your story and, for you to share some behind the scenes stuff of your work. The judges were really impressed by your entry. It was absolutely fantastic. So well done for taking the runner-up position.
Thank you. And thank you for inviting me.
Of course. Would you mind just starting off by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm an architect here in Spain, but slowly I'm not considering myself like an architect, more like a CG artist, because although I love architecture, I even love more images and cinema. I try always to take all the inspiration from films and put it into my images. Like I have this feeling like I have a camera while I'm going through my 3D model. So I was trying to put that energy there.
Yeah, well, you can really tell through your work. It's incredibly cinematic. Um, what what inspired you to get into the archviz industry? Like, is it something you've always wanted to do?
No, during my degree in architecture, an art-based professional came to my city to do like a really small course,
Hmm.
and he saw us that you can live doing images, and I was like, oh wow, this even exists. So I definitely want to do this. So while I was finishing my degree, I started to do more and more images, and my colleagues seemed to like it. And I said, okay, I think I can, I don't know, go in this way and see where it goes.
Wow. And you said that you did a degree. Would you mind telling us a little bit about that journey?
Well, I did my degree in architecture, but I really learned how to do CGI images during this year in schooling. It's like a school for art piece in Madrid, here in Spain.
Hmm.
And it was awesome. It was like a dream, like a place where I can learn all the stuff I want to do, like very focused in art piece. And it was amazing, and all the good environment with the teachers and all my colleagues. It was really fun, to be honest.
And how long was that degree? Was it 3 years?
No, it was like 7 months.
Oh,
It
it's only
was,
7 months.
yeah, really intense.
I
Like
could
spending
imagine.
almost 8 hours per day, even
Yeah.
practicing during weekends. It
Mhm.
was very condensed, very intense, but I mean, we get really good results. They give us the tools so we can achieve all these images or any image, however we want.
Mm. So in saying that, would you say that what you've learned at the school has definitely prepared you for going into the industry?
Oh yeah, definitely. I, with the while we were doing this course in schooling, they encourage us to present ourselves to any any contest. So we find out about the rookies, and we said a few of my colleagues said, okay, let's get into it and let's try that.
Hmm. And it obviously paid off.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting any of this. I promise you. I said, okay, I'll give it a try,
Give it a
but
go.
yeah, but here there are people are from all over the world with very high level, very high
Hmm.
skill. And I say, I'm not gonna get it, but
You did it.
yeah, it took time for me to process it.
I can imagine. Honestly, like each year I look at the winners and the runner-ups and the finalists from the Rookie Awards. I'm just the standard is just incredible. So like getting what you did was, such an achievement. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Looks
I mean,
like
the
we've got
general. Sorry, I mean the general level in the rookies is awesome.
100%. It looks like we've got a couple of viewers now, which is awesome. So, guys in the audience, I always like to throw questions out to the audience. So, if at any point you're just like, oh, Pablo, I want to know this, or if you're interested in archviz and you've got some questions, please shout them out. It always makes the interviews more interesting, and it's fantastic to get a bit of audience participation. So, let us know. So in saying that, I mean, you mentioned that your school encouraged you to enter competitions. So I guess, was there anything else that made you enter the Rookie Awards apart from that?
No, just I mean I always like an introvert person, but in schooling they encourage us to be more visible in the media because in the art beats industry everything it needs to be in the social media in terms of it's a very graphic career. So the more you're visible, the better you can share with other people and learn from the work from other persons. And I thought, I mean, that makes sense. If I publish my images and other
Mm.
people they publish their images, you're going to learn from each other. So that for me that was like a very interesting idea.
Yeah, the industry is a very networking focused industry, isn't it? Like it's just so good to connect with other artists and get your name out there, especially online.
Yeah.
Um, can you tell us a little bit more about your willing entry?
Sure. This all of this is my work. Part of my work I did during this year in at the schooling. So at the beginning we had to do like an exterior project. So I chose this bridge house because I considered it like a interesting concept for a house in the middle of the forest, and I wanted some stuff to work with the environment so I can practice to create like a very huge environment in a small period of time. We use this software called Forest Pack. So I play with it and trying to populate with vegetation, grass, trees, rocks, and working all this stuff. So it was, yeah, I would say that was the most difficult part, work with the environment. The house was pretty easy to model it, but the environment was the tricky part.
Mm-hmm. And what I might do is I might just flip through because you've got quite a few diverse pieces of artwork here. Perhaps you could share with us maybe what inspired you to create each piece. So maybe we could start with the bridge.
Yeah, the inspiration for the bridge house, I took basically how would you say it? I took the photos of the project and I say, okay, we have this very beautiful forest in Canada, but I want something different. So I just took ideas from my for the background on my mind in
Mm-hmm.
terms of cinema, all the films I like, and just do a mix of this. I mean, I wanted to do a forest, but give it some atmosphere with morning fog at night, like here. And this particular one, I wanted to play with Photoshop. It's more like a matte painting and Photoshop image, and I wanted to tell like a story. I don't know, like if the bridge is in, it's like in the clear of the forest, like the light, the moonlight is coming through, and we have this person that is coming back from riding her horse on the forest, and a wolf is waiting, and they are just staring each other. And yeah, it was like more like a practice.
Yeah, it's quite
and it was so
cinematic.
fun.
Yeah, oh, it's I love how you've taken the archviz concepts and you've got something quite professional and formal. But yeah, you've also taken quite a fantasy cinematic approach on it as well. And I didn't notice the wolf before. That's something new I've just noticed then. It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah. I wanted to be like very subtle. No,
Yeah,
like I wanted to tell like a first story that the person coming back home, but
yeah,
like a second story that is the wolf waiting and it's just staring.
that's beautiful. We
I
got
mean,
some
in general,
breakdowns.
I love beside cinema, I love science fiction and fantasy,
Mhm.
and in general, I love all that tells stories. So I think that's the most primitive way of communication between persons through history. So I really like to tell the stories. So I
Mhm.
wanted to take all my love from cinema and telling stories and put it into my images. I know it's not right now really clear, but I want it to be like a huge part of my images in the future.
Mm. And honestly, I think that's what made you stand out so much because we're not just looking at like a product or we are really seeing that story getting portrayed through your work. And I think that's something really special. So definitely keep going with that. Like bring that into all of your work because it's really awesome.
Thank you.
Um, and this one here, this was gorgeous. I was looking at it and I was like, damn, I wish my house looked like this. I want this couch. Can you tell us a little bit about this entry? Like just things like perhaps how did you come up with the design and what inspired you? And yeah.
I mean, this is the less cinematic project because I took this one more like an exercise
Yeah.
because I didn't do like interiors before, and I said, okay, let's take a project that it's out of my comfort zone because I really love like very gritty and gray mood in my
This is so bright
images
and
with
colorful.
yeah. I wanted to do this because it's completely opposite to me.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just focused on take the photos of the original project and replicate them with my a little bit with my style. But it just for me was like a very technical project. Just get the materials right, the
Yeah.
light right, the composition, and just sell the house.
Yeah, and so in saying that, did you say that you created a lot of these materials yourself? Like, did you create all of the models as well?
No, not the models. Some of the
Yep,
furniture, like the couch, and some stuff like the potted plants. They are all from libraries.
yep, yeah. Which
But
is
I only did I think the furniture like the white table
yeah.
and the carpet. The carpet was really difficult to
Can
get it
imagine.
right.
And did you so even if you received the models or like from a library, did you have to do any tweaking to the shaders at all or the textures?
Yeah, yeah, I had to fix all of them. One
Yeah,
of the first rules here in schooling is when you get a model from a library, first thing is you check the model and you
yep,
have to fix it. And
yep,
second, you change the materials because
yeah.
they are always wrong.
Yeah, well, honestly, I'm looking at this and you've really nailed the materials. Obviously, like myself coming from a material background and a shader background, I'm really, really impressed by the quality um, of the materials, especially the blue fabric. Fabric is such a really tedious and hard thing to do, and if you don't get that sheen and that peach fuzz look correct, um,
Yeah.
it doesn't look right, and it
You mean
looks really
on the
nice.
coach on the
Yeah,
coach, right?
yeah, yeah. The blue
Yeah,
couch.
yeah, that was tricky to get it right.
Mm. And
Yeah,
the
it took some
wrinkles.
time.
Yeah, no, it's you've done a fantastic job. You really nailed it. So good work. Um,
Thanks.
so it looks like the audience are they're loving your work.
Thank you.
So Cam would like to know what software and tools were primarily used in the projects. And Cam, we'll be getting Pablo to share his screen and show us some behind the scenes look at some of these, like some of his work. But perhaps we could start off with just explaining the general, like what software do you use?
Yeah, for this project, I use 3ds Max, V-Ray, and Forest Pack to populate the environment in the rich house, and Cine software to clean the scenes, I think, and just to use some some tools that they are very useful, to be honest.
What was that last one? Sorry, I haven't heard of that one.
Cine software is like SINI.
Okay.
It's pretty cool, to be honest.
Yeah.
I tried before and it's awesome.
Yep.
And
Cool.
I can share, for example, this rich house and tell about it. Wait a second.
Oh, awesome.
Can you see it?
Yeah. 1 sec. Here we go. All right.
Okay. So this is like behind the scenes of this project. I mean, you see the image and then you see the working file and see, is that possible? I mean, this is like chaos.
Oh, so you'd like to see the work as well as the sharing the screen? I reckon we can do that. Hold on. We'll see how we go. if you keep talking, keep going through it, and I'll work out the I'll work out the backside of it.
It's not on screen?
Yeah. So everything's on screen now. So if you want to,
okay.
Yep.
Sure.
If you want to keep going.
Yeah. All right. So all of this is about this project. It was very simple. I just worked a little bit the ground with sculpting it manually, and then the most difficult part was to populate everything with the Forest Pack tool. Everything here are proxies of all plants and trees, and it was difficult to get it right in terms of composition because okay, I have the general theme, the grass, the trees, but then for each image I have to place manually all these rocks and bushes and trees to get it right. So it's not just how you use the software, it's more like the idea you have in your mind to get it right. I mean, for me composition is it's everything in an image, and you have to do it manually to get the things like properly done. And yeah, here is like how I work, just testing different lights, using these lines to control how the vegetation is spread around the scene, and yeah, all the internal lights for each scene. One of the most difficult things is to manage for each image the different set of assets and lights. So you have to be very organized in terms of folders. So because I have everything just one scenes instead of one image per scene, so I have to be very organized. And yeah, that would be it. I think so.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that, Pablo.
Yeah, no worries.
So would you like me to switch that off?
Yeah, I can.
Awesome. No, that looked like a hell of a scene. Is that slow to run on your computer?
Yeah. I mean, to take images that are around 3-4 hours per render, I think.
Hey, you just answered the next question. Cam wanted to know how long did the renders take. So 3 to 4 hours per render.
Yeah, because they teach us to optimize the scenes, and we have to be very cautious with that, with having like a small size textures, all with proxies, and everything very well organized in layers. So yeah.
I was gonna ask you about the optimization process because it's really important. Like optimization in any department in any industry. I mean, we're limited to what our computers can make, right? So, so you mentioned proxies. That would be for like the forest packs and things like that.
Yeah, that's it. Or anything that we use, even the in the interior project, the furniture is everything proxy, so everything
Yeah,
goes really
yeah,
smooth and fast. And if we are struggling with a particular image, we can use a render farm.
yeah,
So that's fine. And for example, this environment and atmospheric effects like this fog, we render it separately because you render it with the same file is going to take ages.
yeah. I can imagine. So you would you composite something like this together at the end, like with multiple passes?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, yeah,
We render the image, and then in Photoshop we take all the passes and combine it to get different results.
yeah. I can imagine. Um,
And it has like a very small post production just to enhance the colors and the contrast, and that's it. It doesn't have
so not a lot.
no, not a lot in Photoshop in these
Wow,
particular ones.
that's super impressive. So yeah, so like that's incredible that that's mostly a like a render. So nice one. Um, so in saying that now, if we think about next year's Rookie Awards and up and coming student artists wanting to get into your industry and wanting to do what you did and be you next year, what advice would you give them to enter the rookies?
I mean, first and primarily, work really hard because these images, they these projects they take some time to get that right. Even
Of course.
though they have like a 2 3 weeks or even a month. Some projects I did. This particular one we had I think 1 month, and for the two other interiors we have like 2 3 weeks.
From
But
start
yeah,
to finish. Wow.
yeah, from start to finish. Yeah, but I would say that if you have any place you want to study this, go get it because learning by yourself it's hard and it takes
Yeah.
a lot of time. And if you want to really get good results and primarily don't get like bad habits, it's good if someone can teach you the at least the base of everything of how it works. And the rest of the
Yeah.
bit is just having really good reference. I would say so. It's the most important thing in CGI or everything related to images is having tons of reference and put it on the screen while you're working. It's like, okay, I want to get this exactly texture, this light. So it gets so much easier if you work with references.
Thank you, Pablo. That's such good advice. It's the same thing that I tell my students, reference images are just so important. Like, yeah, it's so easy to paint out of your head, hey? Or like, you think you're painting the right thing, but then you go and look at your reference image, it's like, oh, doesn't look anything like it. So
Yeah,
it's,
at the
yeah.
with this, for example, with this rich house at the beginning, I was trying to do with all by myself without references, and it wasn't working. And then I waited a little bit, took some references, and say, okay, this
Mhm.
goes really easier right now.
Did you find your own reference? Like, did you go take photos outdoors or did you find them online?
I find them online primarily.
Yeah,
I love photography, but I don't know where to take the time to to take
of
photos
course.
because I I have so many hobbies that I don't know how to take time to do all of them.
It sounds like every artist. um, so, how long have you been in the industry and working with 3D software?
Uh, Not much, to be honest. This year at schooling, learning how to properly make images, and 1 year before working in the year, the previous year, I was working in Ireland.
Yep, yep.
So yeah, that's it. Not a lot.
Wow. So you would say probably less than 2 years.
Yeah.
And when you got into, so I know that you said you had someone talk to you about archviz, and you said that's what you wanted to do. So when you started the course, or when you went to Ireland, so that was the first time you'd ever touched 3D, is that right?
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
during my degree in architecture, we worked with a software called Rhino,
Yeah.
but it was very basic, just to model our projects and very basic stuff. We
Yeah.
didn't have a lot of idea of 3D or how to render.
Yeah,
And
of course.
mostly I did my images with Photoshop, with a very basic Photoshop, just to showcase
Yeah.
my projects. But yeah, this year is the first time I'm learning like properly how to model and texture and light everything. Now it
Yeah.
makes and now it makes sense. At the beginning it
Yeah.
was just chaos. I don't know how to get this right. And right now we have the tools and to get like consistent workflow and
Yeah.
good images.
Well, I mean, like when you're first learning this stuff, you're just learning how to like navigate 3ds Max or Maya,
Yeah.
like let alone produce nice images. So yeah, to honest, like to get this far, with 2 years or less than 2 years, 7 month course, very impressive. So Cam's just said there's a lot of talent there, so I'm gonna pass that on. Yeah, well, awesome. What else would I like to talk to you about? So, if at all, how has the rookies, I guess, changed your life? Or, I mean, maybe not your life, but how has it? Well, I mean, how has it helped you in your journey, winning the
Yeah.
competition?
I mean, people they don't recognize me at the street. It would be so cool, but that doesn't happen. But right now it gave me more visibility. I just created like an Instagram account and I have a lot of views of the project when the rookies publish it. And yeah, I think so. It gives you more visibility, but it doesn't change anything right now. I don't know. I mean, for sure in the future is like a good curriculum, but I don't know. Well, at least here in Spain, everyone knows who is winning the rookies because the archviz community is small, but it's
Yeah.
very well connected in terms that everyone knows what you're doing.
It sounds like all of 3D visual effects as well.
Yeah. So I like the thing that it gave me more visibility on my
Yeah.
projects, so I can get to know more people. That's nice.
Yeah, I think it's going to help you. Well, visibility is everything in this industry. Like one of the hardest things is just getting your foot in the door, is getting noticed, because there's a
Yeah.
lot of people studying and there's a lot of people, going through the schools doors, but not everyone makes it to the industry. And like that online, especially in the world of COVID and remote work becoming a thing
Hmm.
now, like online visibility is just so important. So I think that's really cool. So I mean, what does the future look like for you? You mentioned that you'd started a new job, or you will be starting a new job really soon, which is really exciting.
Yeah, I got a job. I'm going to start next
Woo!
month. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah,
Um, just test how all this knowledge I got this year is going to pay off. I think. I hope
you'll probably
because
find, yeah, you'll probably
it's
find that
cool.
you do less work than what you
Yeah,
were studying.
yeah. At least the cool thing in schooling they teach you in a way that it's very similar
Yeah,
with a job. Is like we give you this project. Well, you have to choose one project
yeah.
and you have to do it in this very small space of time with small corrections every week. So they act, or teachers act like the clients and say, okay,
Oh, nice.
yeah, you have to deliver images every week and say, okay, you have to change this, and this for next week.
That's awesome. That honestly, that sounds very similar to how a job would work. Like how you
Yeah,
present your work and you get feedback, and taking feedback on board is probably one of the most challenging things in the job, but it's like taking on feedback well and not taking it to heart is so important. So I'm glad that they're instilling that in you
yeah.
guys.
Even with the deadline, some of my colleagues They say, okay, I just slept like 4 hours last night, and I say, oh, that sounds real.
Oh my God, 4 hours, no. Yeah, I mean, like, so you mentioned that you're really excited for the work. Do you feel ready? Like, do you think your school prepared you for it?
Oh yeah, I feel ready, but for sure there are gonna be a lot of things that I'm going to be struggling at the beginning. I mean, with these very small times for these projects, with these small deadlines,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to be the most difficult part. But I really want to continue to learning and improve. I want to improve for example, my matte painting in Photoshop, and yeah, it's going to be cool.
Do you know what? I mean, if you're not allowed to say, that's cool, but do you know what projects you're going to be working on or what type of work you'd be doing there?
Uh, More like contest projects. I mean, more artistic in terms of it's going to be more creative with more
Wicked.
Photoshop and making cool images. you know.
Oh, so good. Making cool images is like what you want, where you want to be.
Yeah.
So before we wrap up, I was wondering, like, because I mean, you've got clearly got such an artistic eye. Do you do like you mentioned you've got too many hobbies? Do you have any other artistic hobbies that you do in the background, or like perhaps if this has only been something you've been doing a couple of years, what sort of artistic things did you do growing up? Maybe.
I like to draw.
Yeah.
I like to draw properly during my degree in architecture. I like to also play music. I'm a drummer, and also I'm a martial
Wicked.
artist. So all my hobbies are
Oh,
artistic related.
that's a
I
lot.
think, yeah, I told you, I like to too many things.
Sounds like you like to learn. Like you like learning new things and stuff, which is good.
Yeah, and I like how to structure my learning, and
Yeah.
I think that helped how I learn in general,
Hmm.
because everything new I learn, I like to structure and trying to make sense of it. I don't know if I'm learning martial arts. I want to know how it works internally to give it a sense in my head and
Yeah,
to do
yeah.
it better. The
How
same
long
with
have you been
music,
doing
and
that?
uh, I've been doing martial arts for 15 years, I think so.
15. Wow. You
Yeah,
must like you must be like a black belt then.
I think I have two black belts right now.
Two black belts. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Don't cross your
but
path wrong.
no, but I don't care about grades. I just want to learn new stuff. I
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's just, it sounds like, like you said, you've taken that into your work as well, like really pushing yourself to go further. Um, is there a particular archviz area that you want to end up?
I really like the concept art
Yeah.
side of it. Uh, One of the things I want to achieve in the future, it's learning what makes a good image beautiful. I mean, it's very abstract. I mean, it's very difficult to get it like in a technical way, because you have to understand what makes a thing beautiful. So
Yeah.
I want to learn about composition, color, storytelling, and that's all the part I want to focus more, the concept arts.
That yeah, that sounds amazing. Like it's so important to understand that in your in your everyday life. So yeah, sorry, I got lost looking at your work.
No
um,
worries.
uh, what has Cam said? He said the philosophy of aesthetics a tricky topic. Sure is. Well, Pablo, I reckon we're going to leave it there, but I just want to say thank you so much for joining us and for sharing your beautiful work, giving us a bit of insight, and I think this is really going to inspire next year's Rookie Awards entries. So thank you.
Thank you for inviting me. It was
Of course.
really nice, very nice time
No,
here.
no, it's yeah, it's been a pleasure interviewing you and interviewing everyone. It's I'm constantly in awe and inspired by all of your work, and I'm just like, wow. And yeah, thanks for the audience, and yeah, thanks Cam for asking some really cool questions. That they've been wicked. So, all right, without further ado, I reckon we'll leave it there. So thank you, and if you have any questions or if you need anything from the rookies, don't hesitate to reach out whatsoever. All right.
All right. Thank you.
No worries. See you later, everyone. Bye.
See ya. Bye.